Hi everybody, just a quick video for you today. We're going to have a look at keeping yourself cool in a California, and in a few months time I'm going to follow it up with keeping yourself warm in a California. So today we're going to talk about some tips with the vehicle about how to keep cool when it's nice and warm. It's pretty warm today, sun's out. I know we're coming towards the end of the summer, so maybe we should have done this a bit earlier on, but hey ho. So it's just a couple of tips on things that the vehicle has, because there's no air conditioning system that runs on the vehicle within it when you're actually stationary, and it's quite important to point that out. So for the air conditioning system to run, you do have to have the engine running for that system then to work. And obviously if you're on a campsite somewhere or something like that, that's probably not the thing to do really, to keep your engine running just for the air conditioning system. Obviously if it gets really hot, then there are different options. So let's have a couple of things, basic things first, and talk about where that cool air, for example, might come through. So obviously having your vehicle completely closed and with no windows open or anything like that, the vehicle is going to get quite hot inside, but there are a couple of ways in which we can help that heat, for example, not becoming into the vehicle. And one of them is things like, for example, the blinds, and things on the rear is a good indication to show you that. So if you have a look at the rear of the vehicle, obviously the blinds on the vehicle are there designed. You will notice on the back of these, if I pull this out, obviously you've got this surface, which is the interior surface. If I pull this back, it's on here, you'll see it's got this shiny surface that's on here, on the outside of it, and that obviously will reflect the heat on the vehicle. So by putting it on there, as you would do, for example, it's on here, one, it creates shade then in the rear of the vehicle, so if you've got your tailgate up, you've not got blaring sun come through. Obviously it's got privacy glass on the vehicle as well. Yours might not have privacy glass depending on what vehicle you've got. That privacy glass does help with the reflections coming in and keeping it cool, and that is no different to the sides of the vans either. So on your side panels here, so you can pop these down, for example, it's on here and you can't then see in, but again it will stop that bright light coming into the vehicle, which is what's going to actually create that heat and heat your vehicle up if the vehicle itself is actually completely closed. So my tip for that, for example, is if it is completely closed, if you're on a campsite somewhere, for example, and you've got your roof up, keep one of your roof vents open. You want one, obviously, if you've got the pan roof, you won't want to leave that open if you've gone out for the day, but your side ones that's on here, you might want to leave them, for example, slightly open to let a bit of airflow come in the vehicle. If you're going to do it on one side, do it on the other side, and that will obviously, if there's wind etc that comes in, and that will allow airflow then actually to disperse from the vehicle a lot more, and it should keep your interior of your vehicle a bit cooler then, obviously allowing them for some of that air, because the hot air that's in here is going to do one thing, it's going to go upwards, and when it does go up, obviously normally you've just got your little vents at the very top up there to come out, but if you've got more room for that air to then disperse off and come out from, even better. So keeping the inside a bit darker, for example, and obviously getting good airflow. Those are the two things which can help and can keep the vehicle cool. Another important one is your front windscreen. Now obviously as the vehicle comes as standard, you can pull the slides across the side, and again these particular ones have got that silver backing that's on there that will reflect the heat on the front windscreens that's bringing it off from there. I know a lot of you out there as well have got the big silver wraparound off the front, and that again will reflect the heat coming off the vehicle. Now, a really good tip for you if you're staying on a campsite, for example, that's on here, you can get portable air conditioning units. Or a portable fan. So there's two different versions. So you've got a fan which basically just spins the air around, and that pushes air around the vehicle. The other one, which is a little bit more complicated than that, is like a miniature air conditioning system, which actually blows out cold air. Now if you've got power, for example, so if you've got electrical hookup, these things just plug straight into the side, into your sockets that's here, and obviously that will then keep the vehicle cool within there. Lots of different companies do them now. They're actually fairly popular, especially at this time of year, and that will obviously keep the vehicle cool while you're in here as well. They do work better when, for example, all the vehicle doors are shut at night, for example, if it's really, really warm and you want to cool the vehicle down. Because as soon as you've got a door open, obviously there's mega mixing of air that comes in, but they will feel cold to the touch. And obviously this is quite a small area that's in here, so if it was on the side here, for example, and you were sitting here, it was blowing, that was on there, even with the door open, and if it was blowing while you're having your dinner or something like that, you get that cool feeling and that's what some of it normally is about, actually, because you just feel a bit cooler, even if you're not necessarily, because it's still really, really warm that's there. And then finally, we've got the awning on the side of the vehicle. So the awning has got two purposes. Obviously, in the UK, you could say, for example, it's there to stop you getting wet when it rains. But it's also, as well, these vehicles are used throughout Europe, and it's very warm in Europe. So in Europe, you see a lot of these vehicles with the awning out. The top section of the awning, so the other side of the awning, is reflective. So again, that creates a shade area that's underneath the vehicle, and with shade becomes cooler as well. That's the vehicle, so it's quite important if you stop somewhere, you can get that out, you can get out of the sun yourself, so you'll feel cooler, and at the same time then obviously you've got that area that's outside the vehicle, and that will create coolness as well within the vehicle, because that's exactly where the door is. So as I said, you can see on the top of the awning here, it's bright silver. Again, that's reflective, so with the sun coming down, obviously that will reflect that heat back up away from your vehicle. At the same time as well, with the awning out, you're going to create that shade, so you're not actually in the sun, which is there, and again that gives you that extra cooling effect. So the awning can play a really integrated part of keeping your vehicle cool when you're on a campsite in the summer and things like that. So I've always said, a great addition, the awning. If you've ever been abroad in California and you've been into Europe, lots of people who have them have an awning of some description on the side of it, and they do use them a lot. Really important, something like the awning, and it does make that extra difference. So those are some of my tips for the vehicle about keeping it cool. I'd love to know what some of your tips are as well, so please pop them in the comments box below. If you found this video interesting, have a read of the comments box below as well, because I'm sure people will post things of their ideas as well. So and lots of you use these vehicles more than I use them, so I'm sure you've got some great ways of keeping cool that's in there as well. So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.